I seen you go in. Open this door now. I've always been fair with you, Nolan. The rent only ever went up with the inflation. Is it my fault you can't hold down a job? Times is hard for all of us, you know.
We put a lot of thought and effort into getting the right people for the principal roles, and that really stood to us. The other thing was the casting throughout the process. We 67, I think it was, speaking roles. Fiona, the production manager, and Bill, the producer, really did a great job there. And I suppose what I did as a director was to work with the characters rather than the scenes, because my thought was that if we get the characters right, then whatever we throw at them in terms of script, they'll work with it, and that's really what happened.
Hey Robert, how's it going?
There's a tramp in the bathroom.
That'd be Joe though, he's just cleaning up.
Robert, I'm not quite sure that tramp is a very PC thing to say. I mean, maybe you could try domestically challenged.
Well look, to be honest, I'm less concerned about what to call him than what he's doing in our bathroom.
Robert, he's just been beaten up by, what do you call them? Scumbags.
Yeah, scumbags.
I could identify a fair bit with Dave, because back in my day, you know, I would have had the similar problems back in the 80s, just looking for the work at the time. So I could sort of see where he was trying to come from. You know, things were closing down. He was sort of stuck in the middle, a bit of limbo, because he didn't have the training or education as things had advanced, you know, while he was in the same job. You know, that closed down. And I think it's quite pertinent at the moment. You know, people are just trying to readjust, and it was that whole readjusting, but not losing himself to it. I mean, he still had the family issues, he still has his daughter, he's looking for work, he's trying to hold friendships together tentatively as it'll all unveil. But at the bottom of it, he's a genuine nice guy. He just sort of, which happens to a lot of people in difficult situations, is they just get caught up in it, and there's not a lot they can really do.
Is Brooke good?
Oh, she's great. You should check her out sometime.
Yeah, I'd like that. Where can I see her?
Well, actually, she's playing tonight in town. That's what the CDs are for. You know, we were hoping to sell a few of them at the gig. There's a group of us going along. I mean, you're more than welcome to come. And bring your boyfriend.
I don't remember mentioning a boyfriend.
Oh. It was just, do you remember the other day, you know, you had to rush off. I thought you had somebody to meet.
My sister.
Brooke is in her late teens, early 20s, and I think she's at that point in life where she wants to move around, and her life in America is not maybe as idyllic as she wishes it was, and the music that she's been listening to has kind of led her to Ireland, and she decides to venture over, and you know, the music scene is small, she's heard, so it can't really be that hard to crack, so I think that's her aim in coming over, is to play some music, make some friends, and see how that goes.
And here's Sonia.
Hey, Sonia. I said, hey.
Brooke, hey is for horses. To people you say hi or hello. That's what I was taught in my English class. But then I'm coming here and all of you just using totally different words. What's the point?
It's just an expression. I think we need some cheering up. If you're feeling sad, if you're feeling
Brooke,
blue.
have you ever, I mean ever thought about being quiet? Do you even know what quiet means? Maybe you don't use this word in America, but in Europe it means that you are quiet. You don't talk, you don't laugh, you don't shout, and you definitely don't sing some stupid songs.
Sonia is a girl that is totally different than me. She's shy, she's extremely empathetic, she listens very well, she does not overjudge people, she prejudge people, she accepts people for what they are. She looks for the best in them, and when she loves somebody, she's extremely loyal and she has a faith. And I think that's amazing. Like, Sonia would make such a great friend, and she somehow became one during these 8 weeks I was working in on the house, because every day I was spending with Sonia.
Everything. And by everything, do you mean this mysterious woman you brought and you never told us anything about her?
Well, she's a friend. She's in my class.
A friend. A very friendly friend.
Leave me alone.
Are you going to see her again? You are?
Robert sees the world in black and white. I mean, there's a good and a bad, and he believes in living his life on the good side. In doing that, he has a lot of confrontations throughout the series, be it with Max, his editor, played by Eoghan Harris, and with Dave, played by Rory. And he's a loner. At the beginning, he doesn't really want to move into the house. Circumstances force him in there. And because he's a loner, he doesn't get on so well with the rest of the family, as it turns out they are. But throughout the series, I mean, there's a good transition in Robert from being the cold kind of loner he is at the beginning to the member of family and friend he becomes at the end. Max.
You didn't think you'd get away with this, did you?
No. But there's nothing else I could really do.
Nothing else? You'll be doing nothing else for the rest of your life, boy, by the time I'm finished with you.
Max, somebody needs to stand up for these people.
Little people need you to stand up for them. Little people don't give a damn about you. They won't give a damn about you when you're walking the bloody street, you and Garrigan.
Well, at least I'm not a lackey for the likes of him. I guess this means I'm fired then.
Fired? You're more than fired. I'll tell you one thing, boy.
Oh, this is where you tell me I'm never going to work in this town, all this sort of stuff.
Come on, Max.
Good night.
Well, it was curious, the fact that we started filming last September, and just at that stage, things were beginning to unravel here with regard to the banks, etc. And there are a few little mentions of, you know, remembering the previous recession. Although at the time of filming, I don't think anybody believed how bad it was going to get here.
Do you mind? Look, if you can just tell me how you got into the situation.
She just made it seem so easy, you know. You can't get a loan anywhere else. We'll give you one.
Only they don't tell you that they're raising the interest rates.
And then as the price of the house went up, they just kept badgering us, you know, into borrowing more and more and more money.
Releasing equity, they called it. You know, as if there was pots of gold under the floorboards. And all it was just more debt.
And now the property market has crashed. And we owe more money than this house is worth. And they just keep putting up the interest.
Are they allowed to do that?
Well, unfortunately, yes. Bank charges of a few cent are very heavily regulated, but they can hike up interest charges as often as they like. Unless there's something in the mortgage contract which states otherwise.
Christ, that's all we need. Mortgage bills up to the roof and I can cut back my hours at work.
Look, this has just all happened so quickly, you know. Are they not supposed to give you a warning, give you some kind of a chance? Listen, we can't lose this house.
I got a house, Mommy.
I know you do, sweetie. I know you do.
People are losing jobs, they're having difficulty paying their mortgages, there's repossessions. We didn't know any of this really, you know, when we started filming it. And I think now it's more pertinent. And the whole idea of Dave retraining and looking at different aspects of his life, of what's more important, you know, is it the job, the money, the family, the friends? And I think a lot of people like now are beginning to revalue themselves or to relook at what their values are. You know, it's not so much about money anymore, and I think there's a lot about that in the storyline, the camaraderie between how important friends are, how important family is. It's not all about money.
To me, you know, having a family is having people around. I mean, when I was a kid, I had all my cousins, my aunts and my uncles, all just living in the same estate around the corner. Like, we were like one big happy family. And then when my dad passed away, well, now I mean there's Robert, and there's Brooke, and there's Sonia, and yourself. You know, it's people that make a family now.
But I have a sort of a family in these things.
What do you mean?
Well, look, for example, this is from a friend of mine. She owns the flower shop by the supermarket. We stop and we chat every day. And she's got this little girl she's got this rare disease anyway, it doesn't look good for her. And we're... I must have taken it, but I had... Oh yeah. Do you remember this?
Is that the watch I gave you a few years ago?
Yeah, Christmas 4 years ago.
I thought you'd lost it. I haven't seen you wearing it.
Well, I don't really wear watches. Because then, like, you're not really watching life, you're watching time.
We started working on this almost a year ago, and I don't know when the script was written, but it just feels like it's being broadcast at a really relevant time, and I hope that many people will see it, because there's a lot to gain from the storylines of each of the different characters. You know, whether you're an immigrant from, you know, Europe or overseas, or whether you're faced with the issues of the recession and stuff, I think people will be able to relate to the story an awful lot. I mean, there's a lot of versatility in the characters and variations, and I just think that's very now. Bring on season 2.
It's my first time here. It's my first time anywhere, actually. I just decided to go to where all the good music is coming from, you know?
I see.
So, are jobs easy to get?
Not anymore. It was very easy to find a job 2 years ago when my sister came here, but now economy is going bad. Everybody are going back home.
Bummer.
We didn't have the luxury of closely storyboarding every scene or vast amounts of rehearsal, but in many ways that was an advantage. An example of that would have been the character Dodo, played by Jack Walsh.
Do you know, I used to work in a bank in a previous meltdown. I never thought I'd be sitting here a few years later with nothing to do. I never thought I'd be so lucky.
Originally that was quite a small role, a homeless guy, but when Jack agreed to do it and started breathing life into the character, and we were working together on developing the character, suddenly it took on a much bigger context, and Dodo in fact ended up becoming one of the principal roles.
The timing, the pace we were working at, and the level of the acting we were expecting to give, you had to be focused. You had to be focused constantly. You had to remember who you are, where you're coming from, what your character has to do, why your character is saying this thing, not the other. And I think that's the way we were rehearsing. That was a great help. The rehearsals were short, but it was always that we could propose. Declan was listening to us, to our proposition. He was trusting us that we know our characters. And at the same time, I think all of us, all 4 of us, were very open to him, guiding us to what he wanted to see, what was important for the scene, not only for the characters, because it's always this deal, what's important for my character, but what's important for the scene.
Oh, sorry. What? Oh, what am I doing here? Waiting for somebody. Is it a woman? Yes. Is she hot? Well, I think so, yeah. Oh, no, she's just a friend. Do I love her? I hardly know her. Why am I telling you all this? Who knows where it could lead? Well, to be honest with you, I don't think it's going to lead anywhere. She's late.
No, I'm not.
I remember Faith when we were freezing our asses off very early in the morning, and it was raining, and we had to film a busking scene out by the pier or by the sea or something, and I got a sleeping bag. Faith gave me a sleeping bag, and that was really nice of her because I was really cold, and it made me feel that was my one Hollywood moment, is that I got a sleeping bag.
Eagle to Scarecrow. I'm at target, preparing to infiltrate. Estimate 50 minutes for operation. Please maintain radio silence for this time. Over.
Eagle to Scarecrow. Roger that. Good luck. Over and out.
Thanks. Hello. I would like to use the internet to send a message to my mother, like.
What is with the fancy dress? Party?
Yeah, big fancy dress. I go every year.
I caught a wave when I was out surfing, and it was just a big dumper of a wave, and kind of caught me unawares and kept me underwater for about 15 seconds. And I was in the washing machine. I didn't panic because I'm used to surfing out there in those kind of waves. But later on that night, I was watching some of the footage with Declan, and you hear some of the girls in the crew. They were back in the beach watching. They just saw me disappear into this wall of white water, and they were like, "Oh my God, Richie, he's gonna die! He's gonna die!"
Oi! Oi! Hey, Robert! Oi! What do you think, Robert? What do you think?
That's as good as you'll get in the beach, man. Come on, let's go be real. You ready?
Surfing off Ballybunion in December is is cold.
One thing you can't get in China is a decent cup of tea. Man, I'm amazed. The place is spick and span. It's not like you had much time to clean up and you heard it was coming. I was half afraid it was going to be like the way you used to keep your bedroom in your ma's gaff when we were kids.
Come on, big boy now. So, still riding the dragon?
Excuse me?
Oh, China. Still got the 10% growth rate?
Gee, look at you. You've become quite the economist since I left. It actually slipped back to 9% last year, but compared to the rest of the world, that's an amazingly good performance. Oh, sorry. Dave, this is Ling Li, my wife. We're on our honeymoon. Ling Li, Dave.
I never thought you...
It took a very special woman to win my heart. Doesn't speak a word of English.
But how do you...
Babelfish.
Babelfish?
Babelfish?
Yeah, it's a free online translation service. We go online every night and chat away for hours.
Sonia and Brooke were sharing the same room. The setting was changing, and sometimes when the bedroom was free and we were both quite tired, we would go sleep there and just wrap ourselves in the bed, and that was good for the friendship of Sonia and Brooke anyway.
Dave, I have to deal with this better now than later on. Look, I'm going to take up dancing again, ballroom dancing, and that exercise thing, pilots.
Pilates, man.
Oh, well, whatever it is, I'll be as busy as a bee. Now, don't you worry about me.
Okay, well, here. Come outside.
For me, this TV series is a testament to the foresight of the Broadcasting Commission of Ireland, FIT and DCTV. We came forward with an ambitious plan, they backed it, and I think over the coming weeks as the series rolls out, viewers will agree that we've achieved something very special here.